Welcome back to Franchise Hockey Manager 10 with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. If you were last with us, you would have seen that we were in first in the Western Conference. Now we've dropped all the way down to third. I mean, we do have a couple extra games at hand, but we're dropping down to third mainly because Detroit is top of their division and we are currently not. We do have Colorado Avalanche ahead of us. I mean, theoretically, we could pass them. I mean, it's not too difficult. We'd have to win 3 straight wins. We have won the last 10. So there is a very good chance that we could catch up to them. And just look at our goals for. Our goals for are 255 over 172. So we have still let in a ton of goals, but we have made even more of that. In terms of the whole league, though, we are top 5. So in terms of points, though, I know that doesn't really factor in. We are really realistically second. And I mean, I'm happy about that. We just have to overcome Colorado Avalanche. We did just recently change some of our settings because I found that too many people are getting injured, so I did slightly make it a little bit more fewer. I didn't want to go completely off. It's kind of annoying with this whole series when every single time that you start rolling, someone ends up getting injured, and there's so many day-to-day things that it seems very unrealistic, so I did quickly switch that. One of the main acquisitions that we did get was Zitnik. I was a huge fan of him when I was younger. We ended up trading away Delmore, which is one of the signings that we ended up getting, and Todd White, who was a recent signing that we ended up getting, 2 third-rounders and a 5th. So they did want White as the kicker, and we got Tetsikov, who's really a nobody. He's never going to play for us. And we did do some other acquisitions as well. I will show that if it does let me. I will show you. We did sign and then trade away Brathwaite. He was originally a 3-star potential and all of a sudden dropped to a 1-star, so I did get rid of him. And then we brought up Milan Helinki, who's going to end up playing for us as our backup role at 25. So we did get rid of him. We still have Tim Thomas, but trades-wise, we got rid of Van Impe as well, and Tsilugin, I don't even know how to say that properly, for a 5th round and a 7th rounder, and then Brathwaite for the 7th. We have been trying to trade so many people, but I mean, it's very difficult to actually get some of them. Even if a team is trying to offload someone, I do want Vacuum, though. Ooh, let's... And Nabokov's also out for grabs as well. Alright, let's see if we can do that. Mike Richter would probably be the smarter choice. Granted, they aren't doing very good. So we're going to try and trade for Vacuum. And see if they actually will part ways with them. We'll probably trade our goalie as well. They have Jocelyn Sebo. That would be probably the best one to get as well. But we obviously can't get him. So we're going to kind of look at one of the ones that we end up having. Tim Thomas is obviously not out for grabs for sure, but we'll kind of see what it's going to take and kind of give you a little bit of an indication as to what they're expecting. Yeah, they want Paul Kariya for Thomas Vacuum. You got to be kidding me. This guy hasn't played at all, but he is the 5-star potential. He did play a ton for Predators. So we'll have to kind of keep that in mind a little bit. But I'm just going to kind of give you an indication as to how difficult it is to trade for players. I could probably offer them 3 first-rounders, and they're still probably not going to want to do it. Okay, so 2 first-rounders and a 2nd, and, well, this guy looks trash. But basically, a prospect, 2 first-rounders and a 2nd is a balanced offer, which means that we're probably going to have to give up a little bit more for that. For a backup, that seems very unrealistic since we already kind of know Tim Thomas is going to be one of those guys. Zdeno Chara is producing somewhat decent. I mean, his offensive rating is pretty terrible. His physicals are starting to come in, and his defensive rating is just off the charts. The consensus is he's a 5-star, but our scouts saying that he's going to be a 4-star. Either way, it's going to end up working out, I feel. He's going to be with us for the entirety of his career. If we can help it. But just taking a quick look at how well we're doing in terms of points-wise. Timmy Solani killing it with 99 points. Paul Kariya with 94, 50 of those being goals, which is insane. There's a major drop-off then for Robert Lang, who is probably one of our best acquisitions that we end up getting. just in terms of signing. He has 54 points in 62 games. Steve Ruchin doing very admirable as well with 51 in 63 games. And Curry, who we've extended, is 37 and he's still producing very well. I mean, in real life, he doesn't end up playing for us, and I think he retires this season. But we really like him as well. Arvidsson is someone that we end up bringing in as well through free agency. 43 points in 63 games is no slouch. And Martin St. Louis is starting to produce very well in terms of his physical and even in his offense. He's doing very good, much better than what I expected. I mean, last year he ended up getting a 76 points in the AHL, and we brought him up this season. He's doing 38, which is very good for a rookie, and we couldn't be happier than that. Zichnich coming with us, he has 23 points in 20 games. Originally, he had 12 in 40 with Buffalo. Great trade. I'm very happy with that. Soleil is doing pretty decent. He's now down to a 2-star. So that is kind of disappointing, but I mean, his defensive rating's still pretty good. So he's probably going to stay with us for a while. Danny Briere hasn't really been able to play that much, and when he hasn't really produced that much. His physical rating's starting to develop a little bit, and even if his offensive. But it's more touch and go. We're gonna play with him as much as possible. See if he can kind of develop into the player that we want. We did get John Madden as well. His defensive rating's very good for a forward, so we're going to try and put him in as much as possible. He's played 3 games with us. His grade is around 65, so that's not bad at all. Probably playing bottom line minutes, so 4th line minutes, getting around 10 minutes of ice time there, and 3 points is very, very good. Plus minus of 3 as well, so he's not costing us anything. And yeah, we still find ourselves in second, and Timmy Solani and Paul Kariya are at the top of the charts in terms of the goals. If you saw the last episode, you would have seen that we were very upset that they didn't get the Richard Trophy for most goals. It seems kind of ridiculous, and we should at least get it for the points. I mean, being the likes of Wayne Gretzky, we tried trading for him as well. And I mean, I'm going to kind of show you how broken the game is. So they're not doing very well, and they're kind of in rebuild mode, and it's 3 first-rounders is probably still not going to do it, and they're still going to want one of these players. So 3 first-rounders for Wayne Gretzky, that's not going to be able to play past next season probably. That makes around 3.2 as well. Yeah, he's probably going to retire after the season, and it would take us 3 first-rounders to get him, which is kind of, and a player, a prospect potentially. So that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, now they'll accept it. Remove that. Yeah, they're not going to do anything. 2 first-rounders for him, not going to budge on that. So I find that a little bit disappointing. We're going to reshift the AI there. Facing off against Toronto. We lose our 10-game winning streak, just like that. John Madden is the only one that ended up scoring, so I did sing his praises just before that, and find it kind of ridiculous that that's a game that we end up then losing. Facing off against defending champions, we lose again, so 2-game losing streak just to start this off is not the not what we envisioned here. I'm not even sure how much we're down by the other player. Trade deadline's nearing. You know what, we're going to try and, let's see if we can try and offer something. It would be better if we could, I guess, go into the trades, go into shopping, and kind of look at other teams' players as well. That'd be a little bit better for us, for sure. So we're going to kind of look at, let's see if there's any player that we can get for Colin. And we'll add in someone else as well, maybe to sweeten the pot just a little bit. Not Soleil. Granted, he does play left D, and that would open it up for someone to come in for it. Scratton, no, we're not going to do that. Pronger, maybe Pronger as well. Let's see if we could get anything. We could get John Gruden, nope. So pretty much nobody. Kevin Todd's the only name that I recognize. Ronnie Sundin, so not even the right one. Oh my god, this is Dino Ciccarelli is the best player that we can get, and he's 38 and very, very slow. So that's pretty much what it offers. That I feel as though that's a little bit broken because both players that we're offering are not bad in any means. Colasar is the only one that I recognize there as well. And obviously we're not going to be able to do anything with that. It's kind of disappointing. Cullen's actually not that bad. And we can't get anything for him. This game means a lot. We're going to lose it. Yeah, of course we're going to lose it. I think we need to kind of adjust the AI as well just now. Trade deadline's nearing. I think we're going to try and... Let's see if we can kind of shop something out here. Bruins look like they're not doing very well. Oh yeah, they have Hue. I forgot about that. They also have Luongo. I also forgot about that. And Jim Carey as a backup. I mean, that would have been cool. I really like Jim Carey as the goalie as well. But I don't think any of them are playing. But we're going to look at any of the top spots. Adam Oates would be a decent pickup as well. He is older. Contract, he did extend for another year. I don't think we're going to be able to get him. Sabres, Dominic Hasek, Michael Pekka, Olli Jokinen. I mean, they definitely won't do it for Jokinen. Who else do they have? McKee. Flames now, Aginla, Nylander, Kidd. I don't know how well they're doing, to be honest. Theo Fleury. I mean, that would be an awesome one. Let's see if we can get Theo Fleury. He is a right winger. We'll have to probably give up our second best right winger regardless. But it feels though he might be an upgrade from him. Which would be Curry or Sacco. Sacco, yeah. Let's try Sacco. And then they would want Paul Kariya for him as well. Just ridiculous. Second rounder now moves it down to Chara. Still want Chara again. It feels though we can only go one more on this. And there's nothing we can really offer them that they're going to really budge for. So I think like the trade deadline's kind of like dead in terms of this game. We can kind of do it throughout the season, but I don't think we're going to be able to get anything for anyone. And I mean, 2 first rounders, Sacco, and whatever is not going to do it, and we wouldn't be able to make that trade anyways. Hurricanes, I think they have Brendan Shanahan. They just changed from Whalers though. We can give up we can give up 3 seconds for someone. Jeff O'Neill, that name sounds very familiar. He's 22. I don't think we'd be able to get him though. Castles, I remember that name too. Keith Primo. Yeah, they won't ever do anything like that. Feels like we'd have to get like a fringe player. Yeah, Tony Monte's definitely that fringe player for sure. Vinny Prospasol. Left wing. 23. I mean, they would go for it. He isn't bad. He does have a decent career after this. What is it? He's 23. Well, obviously he doesn't get drafted by this team. He gets drafted by Philly. Oh, he traded by Philly. Or did they sign him? Oh, they traded him for a 7th round and Hackett. Jeff Hackett looks pretty good, actually. So 3 second rounders would give us him and one of the other guys. Scrattons, maybe? Or Perrin. Huh, do we want to go all in at this point with them? But we do know that at least a 3-star player, we can probably get that. Chris Chelios, I would probably rather, actually. What would it take for Chelios? Okay, they wouldn't do it. Which kind of makes sense, I guess, because why would you get rid of him? Stefan Yell, I remember that name as well. Deadmarsh. Deadmarsh, I feel, was underrated a little bit. Yeah, he ended his career super early. 1.3 million. Let's see if the Denmarsh would do it. And we could. We just have to get rid of one of our prospects. I think we're gonna keep moving on. We could get Hatcher, maybe, or Langdon Burner. Langdon Burner might be actually a good one. Back checking forward. He does play for the Devils after this. You know what? Let's try Langdon Burner. Let's see if we can get a right winger. We could. And I feel as though it'd be Scranton's is the one that they seem to want. His defense looks pretty good though, so I don't think we're gonna want to do that one. Soleil as well. Ted Drury, who's not playing with us currently. I mean, look at his mental, look at his physical. His contract's not bad at all. He does have a decent career after this. 41 points this season. Left wing, right wing. He shoots right, so probably a right winger. I mean, that is a very, very good trade there. Let's see. Hatcher. Yeah, Hatcher we can't get. Unless we give up something bigger. The question is, do I want Hatcher or do I want... I feel as though I'd have to give up Soleil for him. And Darren Hatcher would be a sick acquisition. Question is, do I emphasize more on defense than offense? Let's see. We might give up Soleil for him. And he is a lefty as well, so it would hurt Chara moving up. Because Chara would be towards the bottom, and Scranton's as well would also kind of hurt for that. Guess he'd have to fully convert to right. And then we have Chara, we have Soleil. I mean, I feel as though Soleil might be the one that we end up having to get rid of. They will never accept this. Well, yeah, I feel as though they wouldn't do that anyways. Okay, let's take off Soleil here. Let's go for Langdon Burner. And I think we can be happy with it. They also have Kostopoulos. They have Nieuwendyk as well. I mean, let's just get the player that we want here. And what's it going to take? Ted Drury, who's not playing for us anyway, so we'll add Ted Drury here. And they should go for it. I am happy with that. Does make our team that much better. Langdon Burner with it. See what the AI looks like here. But we might have to get rid of one of those players. He's second, so Sacco's going to have to go. Because it's too stacked at this point. If we can get rid of Sacco for a right D, we will do that in a heartbeat. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode just because we're trying to figure this out as we go and kind of show you a little bit more in terms of what goes on in terms of the trades. Chris Osgood we could try and go for. Leave a like, I guess, let me know if you guys think that Chris Osgood is overrated. I had a debate with someone the other day that said that I don't think that Chris Osgood was overrated because obviously it took a decent amount to be able to still perform. And he still did pretty admirable. He did win some cups as well. And I feel as though it's kind of unwarranted, the criticism that he ends up suffering for sure. Let's see if anything kind of jumps up in terms of right defense. And then we'll kind of get back into it. We have to hit that every single time. So Svela, I remember that name. Does look very good. Shutdown defenseman. Is he right though? Yeah, he's a righty. Svela. Oh, I almost did Straka. No, Svela's 29 though. So maybe you don't want to go for him. I want to get like a 24, 25-year-old at most. Ed Jovanovski. I forgot about that guy. Ooh. He's only a right D. Or a lefty. We gave up seconds for the other one. Paul Kariya is what they would want for him so far. We can kind of put on the rebuild a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to take us that much though. Feels though if we give up Soleil, we can probably kind of salvage something, but a second rounder it already kind of opened it up a lot. So we'll give up at least Sacco. Sacco's going to be the one that we might partake. Let's see what doesn't really budget at all. And then let's look at Soleil. I did want to keep with us for a while. And let's see, I guess we're going to have to add another pick. Don't have any for that year. Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's budging at all. There's no way in hell that we're going to partake with, or part with Ruchin or Chara. So we're kind of back to the drawing board there. Kings players, I don't even know who the Kings have. Rob Blake is at the top, 28 though. And the rest of their team does not look very good behind him. So you can only imagine that they're Kimmo Timonen. Ooh. His stats don't look that good though. But he is still young. He is 23. When did he get drafted? He got drafted 10th round. We know he has Kimmo Timonen has a decent career after this. 56 grade, so he's not going to help us this year. So there's no rush to get him. Sheldon Surrey also, but he doesn't look good either. No one's really jumping out off the page here. Thibaut Danfus I still want, but looks like he signed an extension. Saku Kwaivu has a 23-year-old. That is insane. Burry Malikov, Savage. Patrice Brisebois at 27. Ooh. He stays with them. I kind of feel bad if I were to poach him. Let's see what it would take. Give up a second again. Don't have. Oh, what? Where are? Oh, we had them up here. Okay. I was gonna say, where did all our seconds go? So it would take. Yeah, it looks like it would take way too much for that. We're not even gonna entertain that. And because it looks like we'd be willing to get rid of those two. Daze, Eliash, Halik. Niedermeyer would be the only one that would part with. Or part 4. Let's see what it would take for this. I feel as though it would take 3 first rounders. Oh, and Paul Kariya. Yeah, that ain't happening. The Devils, Islanders, see if they have anyone. That's us. Todd Bertuzzi, Brian McCabe. Brian McCabe, before he lost the eye. He looks more of an offensive. I don't know why it says shutdown when he seems to be more of an offensive defenseman. I guess his balance, not exactly what I want, but we could go back to that. Rangers here. Yeah, they're not going to part with anyone because they're jerks. Ottawa Senators. Oh yeah, they do have Wade Redden. Wade Redden's a lefty though. I really want Redden. And I feel as though he's attainable just based on this first interaction here. We'll give up a third somewhere. Doesn't really open it up, but we'll give up Sacco as well. And again, they don't budge. Feels though it would take another first rounder here. And no, none of those is really doing anything. I feel as though we might want to give up on this. We'll do one last team. Let's see Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they have Pavel Nedved. Someone that I really like. Jagger's out for a bit. That's odd. Pavel Nedved, and they have the other Hatcher, Kevin. He's 31 though. And they wouldn't even do it for Nedved. So I think that's all that we're gonna do here. We do get at least the one. And at least then we know we probably have to get rid of Sacco next year. And we'll kind of close out the season. But getting Landon Burner is going to be huge for the future of this franchise. And I don't think it really gave up that much. First time home was the very next game, and he already gets on the score sheet. Gets an assist, and we also get a win. But like I said, it would be nice if you could just have other teams that kind of just offer you trades randomly. Like you shouldn't have to put anyone on the trade trade block or anything like that. Basically against Philly here, 3-2 win. We beat them 8-1, so that's not much better. Paul Kariya gets his 54, St. Louis getting his 19th there. And Zalapsky for second, for argument's sake. So 1 second for a 29-year-old, 2.5. That's what took. He doesn't look like a defensive player though. But I think I'm okay with the trades that we end up doing this year. Gizzo gives us a better chance. Might go further in the playoffs. Timmy Solani gets his 50th as well. Sacco gets his 10th, and then Dulles gets his 6th there. Before Arvidsson getting on the score sheet there as well. So many bunched up games for no reason. And I mean, with the change of Carolina also, we lose 7-3 there. Marshall, Ruchin. Daigle was rated the most overrated player though, which I found kind of funny. Kind of makes us want to get him even more. But the offseason, I don't know if we want to kind of go all in and kind of do like a different rebuild as well. So even if we have to trade everything for like 1 or 2 players, I feel as though we might do it. I mean, I like where we are now, but it feels as though it would just be that much nicer to kind of try and go a different direction because it looks like the trades are going to be a little bit more hard to come by. Paul Kariya gets a goal there to tie it up before Timmy Solani gets 2, and then Lang gets the deciding one. We're just going to ignore that. Feels like that can do no good though. Someone's injured. And I don't like, I think it's our goalie. And that kind of sucks. Let's go back to roster. There we go. Injury list. He is 1 to 2 weeks, thumb contusion. And I mean, that's going to kind of hurt us. Let's see if we can do it with Tim Thomas. Tim Thomas is assuming the starting role here. This could mean a lot for next season, though. Curry reached 1250 games. Iggy Palffy, I forgot about that guy. 25. Whatever happened to him? I never heard anything about him for the longest time afterwards. And let's see who our goalie is to start this. AI switched back to Milan. At least it gives us an indication of who we have for next year. Paul Kariya getting his 58th, Lang, and then Kariya with his 59th. We win 3-0. Huda's back. And careful I don't misclick because I feel as though that could just only do wrong. We're going to push through here. How many games are left? We have around 10 games left. And I mean, we do have a decent amount to play with. Let's increase our scouting by a little bit. And team morale, let's increase as well. Not going to cost us that much in the end. So we'll do all that, no problem. And Soleil is the only one that's tired there. We win 5-1. So Milan doing pretty good when thrusted upon. Ruchin, and then Paul Kariya gets his 60th, and Martin St. Louis gets his 20th. If we get screwed out of any of the awards, I'm going to be even more pissed. Arvidsson's suspended for how long? For 5 games. And Soleil has a little bit of a knock as well. Briere increased a little bit in terms of his balance. Hlinka for poke check. St. Louis with agility as well. Char is starting to improve just a little bit more. And Hlinka as well. One of our prospects that we end up getting. And then Samsonov as well. And wow, a lot of people not doing as good in terms of that, so we're going to kind of ignore that as much as possible. We have Phoenix here against Kavibulin. We do lose 2-0. And we just have to shake it off. We're currently in second place. I mean, we can only go to first. That is the only way. And I mean, 3 points is going to be massive. The fact that we still have our goalie injured could be the deciding factor. 5-1. So Milan getting it done. Ruchin, Zitnik, and Solani there before Pronger and St. Louis. And Ruchin is what? Day to day? Okay. No, we're not going to delay his treatment. Herbert looks like he's coming back soon. And let's see. 3-0 loss in his return. Nobody getting goals there. And that's gonna be a big deal. We have back-to-back games, which also kind of sucks. Hlinka's now gonna get the nod here. We win 3-1. And Paul Kariya, Cullen also, and Solani all getting goals there. We do have 2 more games, it looks like. Is that going to be the last 2? So we have 4 more, 1 point away of the President's Trophy, actually. And, I mean, Detroit Red Wings is just below us as well. And it's against this, oh my god, hold on. We're going to AI setup organization. And let's just hope. This will be a deciding factor here. We do lose 3-2, so I think we can kind of kiss that goodbye. I mean, second place isn't terrible, is it? We win this one 4-1. Lang, Paul Kariya, Kevin Adams, who hasn't really done anything. Kovalenko, that's interesting. And, I mean, hopefully we have 2 more games here. 2 wins might do it. And we lose the first one. We only scored in the first before eventually losing out on that. And let's take a look at Paul Kariya's at the top for points, and for goals, he should be able to get both of those. And Solani's going to be in second. I really hope that Solani can get second in that as well. We have St. Louis as the last game, and it's a back-to-back. We're going to do Hlinka. And we do win 5-2. So we'll take a look at the standings. And we miss out by 3 points there. So all in all, in terms of the whole league, we do finish 5th technically, which can screw us over in terms of the playoffs because all these teams are going to get home ice advantage before us. But we do finish the season with 312 goals for, which is almost 100 better than them. And then 222, which means a difference of 90. But we definitely need to shore up our defense. We're very good at home. But on the road, we've kind of let it slip just a little bit. Penguins are in a 7-game win streak as well. But we should be able to, let's go standings. Yeah, Paul Kariya, I think, got it. Timmy Solani did not get a point on that last game. So he's going to be top 3. Mario Lemieux just beats him out. That's kind of sad. Herbert, I mean, wasn't even close. Patrick Waugh with 48 wins. That is insane. And we're going to look at the nominees here. And Ruchin looks like he's almost coming back. And we're going to be very happy with that as well. Okay, so the heart is going to be between Paul Kariya, Mario Lemieux, and Timmy Solani. Seems realistic. Jocelyn Thibault and Patrick Waugh at the top of their game, and Chris Osgood as well. Norris Trophy, no one's nominated. Sandy Ozelinch, Lidstrom, or Niedermeyer. And then we have St. Louis for Calder and Arvidsson as well. So 48 points for Arvidsson, 46 for Martin St. Louis, and then Samsonov with 72. Kind of disappointing. We might lose out both players on that. Selke, no one there, and then Robert Lang for the Lady Byng. That wouldn't be that bad. Daniel Alfredson's 25. Might look at getting him next season. I definitely want an improvement in center, so we might end up kind of going all in on that. And then for Ted Lindsay, we have Timmy Solani, Paul Correa, and Mario Lemieux, all three competing for it. And then we're getting nominated for the Jack Adams, so I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Let's look at the standings. It's not showing the playoffs yet, so we can kind of look at that now. Timmy Solani was also injured for a little bit. So where does this fit us in? We do face against Vancouver, Toronto and Edmonton, Detroit and Calgary, and then Colorado and the defending champions. So that would be very good for us. Either team that ends up winning, it makes it easier for us. I just hope that Detroit ends up losing as well, because in real life they end up winning. Montreal, I feel is going to beat Rangers. Rangers, I'm surprised that they even made the playoffs. New Jersey for sure is going to crush through New York Islanders. Pittsburgh, I feel as though it's definite, and then I think Philly ends up winning this one, because I don't think Washington is as deadly as Philly. But we'll just end up jumping off of signing our players, and then we'll jump to, signing our staff, so we don't end up having that little bit of a bug between it, and then we'll jump right into the playoffs, and hopefully we can have a decent result there. And here's our lineup for the first game against Vancouver. Tim Solani, unfortunately injured. Hopefully he's back soon. We have Madden, Adams, Briere as our bottom line. Arvidsson, Pronger, and Curry as our second line. St. Louis, Lang, and Sacco as our second line there. Sorry, that was our third line. And then we have Paul Correa, Ruchin, and Langerburner just for hopefully this game before Timmy Solani comes back. We have Soleil and Marshall going to start off as the bottom. Dallas and Huda is going to start off as second, and then Zitnik and Burakovsky going to start for us. Let's take a quick look though. Holinka played 10 games, 8-2-1. We might end up changing it up and kind of resting on him should Herbert end up kind of not performing the way that we want. So throughout the season though, I think it's all going to be this season. 4-3, I think that was preseason. I think both those were preseason. So we're going to ignore those two. So 9-1 loss, 7-3 win, and then a 5-2 win. The preseason works kind of in our favor a little bit. It's 500. So I'm just going to kind of ignore it. So we do have the slight edge. And let's see if we can manage to win the first game at home. Just like last season, we don't. 6-5. So that is the unfortunate reality of that. Timmy Solani hopefully back. I don't see him though. Still not back. Very disappointing for us. So game 2. We win 3-1. So at least we end up leveling it before he comes back. So Zitnik, Lang, and Cullen all producing there. Thank God we have him back. And we'll just ignore that. AI setup organization. So here's what it looks like now. Madden, Adams, Curry, Arvidsson, Pronger, Sacco, St. Louis, Lang, and Langerburner. And then Paul Correa, Ruchin, and Solani starting up there. Zitnich is getting top billing as well. He beat out Dallas. So that was already an amazing trade. And Char is getting the bottom right with Soleil. I do like that as well. Let's see if we can win in Vancouver. We do not. 6-4 is what the result is. Mike Sillinger, unfortunately, is the one that ends up starting off the scoring against us. I do really want him, though. And Mike Sillinger, who did he end up playing for in his career? I felt as though he came to Anaheim. Oh, he did, and then he ended up leaving. So we could always try and get him back. But we are down in the series. This isn't a good start for us. 2-1. And let's see if we can turn around here. We don't, so we're down 3-1. Jesus, this isn't very good. We could find ourselves with an early exit. At least people are improving though, and we already kind of knew that this could easily happen for us. If we can turn around, Ruchin is also a facial cut. You got to be kidding me. Thought I turned them down, but without Ruchin, it's definitely going to be hurting a little bit for us. And alright, I guess we'll end up having to do this. So again, I don't know any of these players. John Tonelli. Oh, I should have done Randy Carlisle. I did recognize his name. So let's see if we can turn around here. Paul Correa's at a 91 though. See if we can win at home. We do 4-0. So Arvidsson, Solani, and Arvidsson again before Solani scores again. So both guys are the only ones that end up scoring. Hopefully that's enough for Ruchin to be back. And I'm really, really hoping that he's back now. In terms of the other, Montreal won 4-0. So did New Jersey, Pittsburgh also, and then Flyers. So I was right about all those. Dallas, Detroit, yeah, I was right about that as well. And then I didn't predict the Edmonton or Toronto. I wasn't too sure based on that. And then hopefully that brings in Ruchin at 100%. Can we win in Vancouver though? And we do. It goes to Game 7. Robert Lang with 2 goals, and then Huda and Pronger with the other 2. So unlikely heroes here that managed to get it for us. And we're going to set up AI organization as well. Briere gets the bump down, and let's see if we can win at home here. The final game, we do 5-0, pretty decisive. Sacco, Curry, and Correa getting his first goal, and then his second, and then Huda ends up getting that. Paul Correa didn't score at all throughout this, and now he's day-to-day. You've got to be kidding me. Against Detroit, where we need him back. Oh my god, okay. Still going to play through it though. And throughout this season, we won 2-1, lost 4-2, won 2-1, and then lost 6-3. It's in Detroit, so I mean we kind of split the series, but we know that we can only win if it's 2-1. If it's anything more than that, we were definitely screwed. So we need the defense to definitely do something here. And let's see, moment of truth here. Game 1, we win 4-1, but I feel as though we need to end this sooner rather than later because Paul Correa is injured. Solani with 1, and then Chara, Zitnik, and Martin St. Louis with the other 1. So we did limit them to 1, so we were right about that. And then Chara can now play 2 positions, and Paul Correa's health is down. Down to what? Down to a 70 now. We're still going to play him though. He still gets top billing there. Game 2. 3-1. Let's go. St. Louis now with his 4th, Zitnik and Langenbrunner. So we do limit them to 1 again. So I don't know if the theory's right. He is down to a 57. Feels like we have to rest him. I don't think. Let's rest him for this game. Let's put in Madden instead, so we'll at least get the defensive. Let's see what it. Langenbrunner is going to get the nod up front. St. Louis gets 2nd, and then if Madden finishes on the 4th line there. It's a moment of truth here. We'll put him in right after though. So let's see if we can win at home. We do 3-2, so our gamble works out. Steve Yzerman, how old is he? He's 33 in this. So it's coming towards the twilight of his career. Solani and Arvidsson getting goals there before Dallas gets the game winner there. And Paul Correa, hopefully he's back. Looks like he is. So that rest definitely did something. And let's see if we can win this one. This will be the moment of truth. We will push ourselves through and sweep them. We do. We win 6-3. And the reign of Detroit Red Wings is effectively over. We have Paul Correa that gets the goal in his return, and then we have Solani, Ruchin, St. Louis before Correa and Cullen getting off there. And we're not going to touch that. We're going to leave it alone. And wow, Philly's going to knock out Montreal. Pittsburgh can dispose of New Jersey, but it is going to be Colorado. Colorado's going to probably be facing us here. What just happened? 3-1 series, and we're facing off against Maple Leafs. Absolutely no way that just happened. And Pittsburgh moved through as well, so it's Philly and Pittsburgh. Philly's probably going to take it. I'm going to have to look at how that worked out. That is insane. So they had a commanding lead. And then, oh my god, okay, so Adam Foote. Okay, that's just going to show the stars for it, but they won 3-2 there. They won 4-1. Felix Potvin got second, and then we had 3-1 as well. Felix Potvin also at the top, and then Matt Sundin being second star there. That is insane. And I'll be very disappointed if we end up losing this, but these are obviously preseason games, so we're going to start off at the 4-1. So we won the first one, we lost the second one, we tied the third one, and then lost the other one. So it's pretty 500 to me. Let's just hope that we can manage to get a result here. We win 5-0 at home, but we can't count them out based on what they did last series. Solani with his 9th, Curry with his 2nd, and then his 3rd, and then we have Long and Korea all getting goals there. Okay, I thought it was going to be someone that was injured. I was very scared there. We're going to AI setup organization again. See if we can win 2 back-to-back. We do. 3-2 is the result. And Sacco gets a shorthanded before Pronger and then Solani getting his 10th there. I'm going to delete these because they're going to confuse me so much. We go to Toronto. Let's see if we can win in Canada. We win 4-1. Series is 3-0. St. Louis, Korea, Solani, and Langenbrunner all producing there. And let's see if we can do what Colorado could not. Can we win again in Toronto? We do. We sweep 2 series in a row. Paul Korea gets 2 goals there to put us through. And El Capitan moves us to our first final. Looks like it's going to be against Pittsburgh Penguins unless something crazy ends up happening again. And this is our first finals. We end up doing it much earlier than what they did in real life. I think it took them to around the season 2000. And already the gambles are starting to pay off. Paul Korea and Timmy Solani at the top. Mario Lemieux just a little bit higher than that. So let's see. We do kind of have a rivalry with Mario Lemieux already. And I feel as though this is going to be a crazy series here. Pierre Stastny. I know Paul Stastny, but I'm going to kind of bank on him. Doug Wilson will do that. And then Steve Larmer sounds like a familiar name. And then we're going to do Mark Howe as well. And the series is going to Pittsburgh first, I think. Where they finish in regular season. They finished 3rd. So who gets home ice? We finished just about above them. We better get it. Looks like we do. We won the first game that we played against them and then lost the second. So it's very 500. Both games in December though, which is kind of weird. And let's see if we can win our first game at home. We win 4-3. Arvidsson, Ruch in there. Obviously, Lemieux gets a point there. Nedved, who we wanted, gets one, but we got Zitnik instead. And then Matt Cullen ends up getting a point there as well. And hopefully no injuries here. Game 2, 4-0. So we're up 2-0. Solani there, Lang, and then Adams and Pronger. And then it goes back to Pittsburgh here. And we've been extended because we've been. Why would you do it now in the playoffs? It's so much. That's so nervy. Nothing really changes there. We go to Pittsburgh. Let's see if we can win in Pittsburgh. 4-3. So we managed to at least secure that. And I mean, Pittsburgh, even in this reality, is doing very well. But Huda, Solani, Ruchin get points there in the first, and then Solani getting in the second before we end up conceding in the third. So hopefully, hopefully nothing ends up happening that in this last game. See if we can sweep them. And in Pittsburgh, we lose. So 5-2, series 3-1. So it was a predicted thing that we're going to lose that one. Paul Kariya with his 9th goal, though, and then Solani with his 15th, but we still ended up losing. So maybe it was the demise of not doing well in the last game towards the end that kind of showcased this. We go back to Anaheim. Let's see if we can get it. We do. We end up winning 3-0. So against the last series that we ended up doing, which was Pittsburgh Penguins, we managed to get our first Stanley Cup. And we thank it all to Pronger, Sacco, and Kariya. And that is insane. We do win. Char converts to right D as well, so that helps us even more. So we could have easily been out of it. We had to win 3 straight against Vancouver. And just like that, we end up moving through. We then sweep Detroit Red Wings, which was very shocking to us as well. We then end up sweeping Toronto Maple Leafs, which, I mean, is to be expected. It's probably the first that they've ever gotten. And then we end up managing to beat Pittsburgh Penguins. We couldn't quite sweep them, but Paul Kariya, Timmy Solani, and Guy Herbert end up doing well. So we end up beating them before they do in real life. So all in all, pretty good. We're going to take a look at how well we end up doing throughout the regular season, though. Paul Kariya with 123 in 81 games, and then Solani with 117 in 78 games. Lang there with 68, Ruchin with 63, Curry with 51, still producing at 38. Then Arvidsson with 48 points, St. Louis with 46, Langenberner with 46. How many did he do with us? He only had 5 and 15, so he did take a little bit of a step back in terms of his role. Zitnik did obviously better with us in this almost the same amount of games, 34 points in 39 games. Saleh with 37 and 35, and then Sacco with 34 and 78. And then we did take a quick look at our goalies, though. Not all of them are going to show here, but Hlinka with 8-2 and 0. He did get one shutout, and then Herbert with 38, 18 and 1. We didn't have to rely on our backup for the playoffs. Playoff-wise, Herbert was 16, 4 and 0. Obviously, no ties, but no overtime losses either, which is kind of weird. 926 save percentage, which is also insane. Hlinka played only the one game for 8 minutes, but didn't get conceded on, so I do like that as well. Our playoff hero was definitely Timmy Solani with 27 points, and then Paul Kariya managing to play one game extra with only 22, but it took him a while to get that first goal. And then Lang with 18, and then Ruchin with 14. We only end up losing Ruchin, it looked like, for one game. Kariya and Solani both missed at least another game as well. St. Louis ended up getting 13 points in 20 games, and Zitnik with 13, and Arvidsson as well. So all in all, we did very good. Langenberner turning up in the playoffs, so for a point every second game, and then Slay also. Did very well. I don't know what this team's going to look like next season, but we do obviously have to extend Paul Kariya next season, and that'll be awesome for us. And then Langenberner as well, and then Lang as well. So a lot of guys that need to be extended. Same thing with St. Louis. So this team could either look the exact same or a little bit different. We're going to renew him as well. Didn't realize that Madden wasn't renewed. And then Burhowski, Huda we're probably going to let go. We're going to let him leave, I think. He just has facing or checking and hitting. So we're going to kind of leave that. And then Horowski we might end up letting go as well. He did grade around a 61, a little bit worse than last year. But those are the guys that we're probably going to end up letting go. We're going to look in terms of free agency at who we can bring in. Marshall's also going to go as well. And see if we can kind of solidify the main roles of this team next year. It's not really going to be a rebuild. We did have 53 wins, so we're going to try and build off of the Stanley Cup win and our very first one. And I mean, everyone's going to be coming for us next season, so hopefully we can manage to get all the rewards as well and kind of build off of that. Sorry this is going to be a little bit longer video, but hopefully you guys like the little bit more in detail in terms of the trading. And leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And thank you for watching. Until next time.